Hello, sixth graders. Welcome to today's math lesson. Today we are going to continue talking about ratios, and I'm going to show you a new strategy to work with them that's called a tape diagram. You may have used tape diagrams with some other kinds of math in your math education growing up to sixth grade, but they're kind of a cool thing to help you with ratio problems. So let's go to our interactive notebook packet. This is still chapter 2. There's a few things in here we're just going to ignore. So add and divide, or I keep wanting to say that add, multiply and divide. We used that yesterday. We used that yesterday. And so here is the page that we need. And you'll see it's called Solving Ratio Problems Using Tape Diagrams. So I am going to very carefully cut that one page out. We're going to leave the rest of that. There's only one more really page in there we're going to need. That's going to save over there. This is a foldable today that folds in half. And then on the back side, that's blank, is where we're going to put some glue. And on the inside are going to be some practice problems for us. So let's go to our notebook. So there's our work yesterday with ratios when we did the different forms. And then today, make sure I'm on the very next page, I'm going to glue this in right here. So again, glue goes on the back. And I guess I should probably put it on this side, huh? So I don't waste a page. Maybe hard to write. We'll see. Okay. All right. So what I want to do first is, without much explanation over here, I want to just draw for you a tape diagram, because I think as I go through and label some of these, I think if you have in your brain a picture of what one looks like, it will make a little bit more sense. So let's say we had a ratio of 3 red beads to 5 blue beads. And let's say we have 24 total beads. Okay, so let's just think about this for a minute. And I know you're just going to copy what I'm doing right now and try to think about this as we go. So I'm going to draw a tape diagram for this. My ratio is 3 to 5. And so a tape diagram, I want you to think about it kind of like a measuring tape. If you were to measure out this ratio of 3, and we're kind of going to use equal chunks. So there's my 3, and that's red, right? And then I've got 5 blue beads, and so right under it, I'm going to show my 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue beads. And so my tape measures the ratio. So 3 to 5. And so I started filling that in. So now I'm telling you also that I have 24 total beads. So if I were to think about all of these boxes having to add up to 24, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes in my tape diagram here. What is 24 divided by 8? That's right, it's 3. So each box is going to hold 3 of those beads, okay? Each little section of that tape. So if we look at that then, in my red section, I have 3 sets of 3 beads. So there are 9 beads that are red. Do you see that? And then blue, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes, each holding 3 beads. 5 times 3 is 15. So 15 beads are blue. And if you add up those numbers, is 9 plus 15 24 beads total? It sure is. And so my simple ratio here was how I drew my boxes. And then if I know my total number, I can kind of use that to figure out how many of each bead I have. Okay, so it's kind of A little bit of a complicated diagram, but if you start to see how this works, then hopefully that's going to help you as we go. So let's use that as we talk about then these parts. Okay, so hopefully you can zoom in there and see that. So a tape diagram, and that's what this is called, is a model that looks like a segment of tape. And I kind of want you to think about it as a measuring tape, because you're measuring out your ratio, just like I did over here. If it's 3 to 5, I'm going to measure out 3 boxes for red and measure out 5 boxes for blue. It helps you to visualize the ratio between 2 or more quantities. So it lets you see it. Ratio of 3 to 5, I've got 3 boxes to 5 boxes. Tape diagrams should have segments of equal size. Notice that in this picture, the boxes all look the same. Okay, they need to be equal. This measuring tape has to measure equally. Number 4, tape diagrams should be labeled. So we need to make sure we're labeling what's red, what's blue, and then I always use kind of a big bracket over here to show the total. And that's kind of how I do my labeling. And draw tape diagrams to represent each relationship. So let's try it. So this one is just going to say for every 3 boys in class, there are 2 girls. So we have a ratio of 3 to 2. And so we're going to draw out a section of tape that has 3, and those are going to be boys, right? Because 3 boys. And it says for every 3 boys, there are 2 girls. So for the girls' tape, we only need to go 2. Okay, so we have 3 boys to 2 girls. And so that shows the relationship of boys to girls. We don't know the total because they didn't tell us that, so we can't really go any further with that part. Let's look at this one. For every 6 dogs, there are 4 cats. So we have 6 to 4 is our ratio. And we're going to compare dogs to cats. Dogs get measured out to be 6. Let's cut that in half and then into thirds. That looks fairly even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then there are 4 cats. So does that show 6 to 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then cat says 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are some tape diagrams that help you visualize the ratio of the situation. Okay? Now we can use those to solve problems, and that's what I was doing over here. If we wanted to know, well, how many red and how many blue do we have, your tape diagram can help you solve that problem. So it says to solve ratio problems with tape diagrams, first read the problem and draw tape diagrams to represent the ratio. That's what we did right there. Then record the total by the number of boxes in the tape diagrams to find the value of each segment. So just like over here, I did that bracket and I recorded the total and everything. That's kind of the next piece you need to know. And then we use division, divide each segment to find the answer. So over here, we had a total of 24. We divided it by 8 because there were 8 boxes, and we found out that 3 goes into each box. Okay? So let's try that again. We're going to try these 2 together, and then I'm going to give you some to try on your own. So this says, you and your friend both babysit. The ratio of the amount of money you make and your friend makes is 5 to 3. So there's our ratio, 5 to 3. So when I'm reading carefully to know it is 5 me or is 5 my friend. So the ratio of the amount of money you make to the amount of money your friend makes. So you are first. So you, and then the friend, and it's 5 to 3. So you get a box that's 5 long, and your friend is going to get only 3 long. Okay? You make 5, friend makes 3. That's the ratio, 5 to 3. And it says you and your friend make $88 total. How much did each of you make? So now we take the total, 88, and divide it by how many boxes? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes. 88 divided by 8 boxes equals $11 in each box, right? So 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, and 11. So 11s is what goes in each of those boxes. So now how much did each of you make? So you made 11 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $55. Your friend made 11 times 3, $33. And does 55 and 33 add up to 88? It certainly does. Okay, let's try another one. So the ratio of cats to dogs at the animal shelter is 2 to 3. So we have cats are 2 and dogs are 3. That's their part of the ratio. Okay, cats to dogs, 2 to 3. Make sure that matches. And it says if there are 35 animals total, how many cats are there? How many dogs are there? So this is where we've got to divide it up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. 35 divided by 5 is 7. So we could put 7s in each of those boxes because 7 times 5 is 35. And now we can add. So cats, there are 7 plus 7, 14 cats. And then 7 times 3, 21 dogs. And if you add those up, 14 and 21 does equal 35. Okay? The tape diagram just helps you to kind of sort through the ratio with the totals and helps you to kind of figure that out a little bit smoother. Okay? So what I'd like you to try, your work for this morning on your own is to try these 6 problems on the inside. So you don't have to go do anything in your journal. You're just going to try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try to draw the tape diagrams, try to solve the problems, and we'll go over that together at 9 o'clock. Okay? So give it a shot. Thank you.